What if everything you've been waiting for months, even years, were to happen tomorrow? No predictable signs, no visible plan, just a sudden call that changes everything. If you're watching this video today, it's no coincidence. Your heart is ready. Your soul is ready. And what you're about to hear could change your life faster than you can imagine. Stay tuned. This message is for you. Have you ever felt that sudden emptiness, that silence that seems to weigh on your soul? That moment when everything around you appears still, as if the whole world has decided to hold its breath, and you alone, remain there, in the midst of this strange calm. It's not just an external silence. It's that inner whisper, that feeling that your heart is waiting for something you can't yet name. You're watching this video today for a specific reason. It's not a mere coincidence. There's an opening in your heart, an invisible crack that allows the light to enter. Perhaps you haven't seen it yet. Perhaps you've spent too much time staring at the walls around you, bumping into closed doors, searching for answers in the noise and distractions. But today, this silence you feel is actually a sign that change is near, that transformation is about to happen. Imagine your soul as a desert. Sometimes, this desert seems barren, cold, and arid. Your prayers seem to vanish in the wind, your hopes to fade like dying embers. And yet, beneath this apparent dryness, invisible roots begin to grow, silently, gently. What appears empty is actually gestating. What you believe to be motionless is already moving in dimensions you cannot perceive. Have you noticed how certain trials break you just enough to make you vulnerable? It is as if Allah is preparing your heart for something greater. When everything seems to crumble, when the world seems to turn its back on you, it is precisely at that moment that true guidance draws near. What you perceive as a delay, a rejection, or an abandonment is often simply an invisible alignment. The paths of the soul do not follow human logic. Sometimes, the longest silence precedes the loudest sound, and what you have long awaited will emerge sooner than you expect. Look at yourself there, sitting, perhaps weary from everything you've been through. All those nights spent praying without seeing an immediate answer. All those moments when you felt your efforts were in vain. And yet, this feeling of helplessness isn't a sign that God has forgotten you. It's a sign that the moment is approaching, a moment when your heart will be called upon to recognize what your mind hasn't yet grasped. The speed of guidance has nothing to do with your timing. It has everything to do with divine precision. Sometimes we look for miracles as if they had to be spectacular, visible, obvious. But the true miracle begins in stillness, in the small breath you feel in your soul, in that silent shiver that runs through your body when your heart recognizes the divine presence. This moment may be subtle, almost imperceptible, but it contains everything. It contains the signal that action, transformation, the answer to your prayers is imminent. Everything you've waited for, everything you've hoped for, could arrive sooner than you expect. What if, right now, you stopped fighting the silence? What if you simply allowed yourself to be open and receptive? Feel each beat of your heart like a drum resonating just for you. Feel this gentle yet powerful energy beginning to form within you. You are ready, even if you don't believe it yet. The invisible light you've dreamed of is near. It's watching you, calling you, and it will strike when your soul is ready to receive it. Your mind may be filled with doubt, but your heart knows. Even in the darkest moments, there's a voice whispering, "Be patient. Prepare yourself. Your moment is approaching." And that's exactly what you're feeling right now without even realizing it. It's no coincidence that this video caught your attention today. It is no coincidence that you chose to stay, even for just a few minutes, to listen to these words. These few minutes are a doorway to a moment when your world could change abruptly. Imagine the breath of Allah, invisible yet omnipresent, brushing against your heart. This breath may be a sudden call, an unexpected turning point, a silent but immediate answer to long-standing prayers. It is not something you can force or schedule. It comes when the moment is perfect, when your soul is ready to receive the gift that has been reserved for you all along. What you have been eagerly awaiting often arrives the moment you have stopped asking for it. Because divine timing never follows our logic. Imagine a vast desert, an arid desert stretching as far as the eye can see. The sun beats down relentlessly, scorching every grain of sand, and each step you take seems futile, as if your feet are sinking into infinity and nothing can support you. The wind is dry and cruel, whipping your face, reminding you at every moment that you are alone, lost in this crushing silence. Yet you move forward, with the nagging feeling that you are only going in circles, that your efforts are leading nowhere. Everything seems still, everything seems empty, and yet something deeper is at play. For the desert is never truly empty. Beneath this apparent barrenness, life is preparing its miracle. And that is precisely what you are experiencing in your own life today. These moments when everything seems frozen, when your prayers seem to vanish into thin air, when you feel that nothing will ever change. These are not moments of surrender, they are invisible preparations. Every trial, every delay, every silence you've experienced is like the sand beneath your feet. It shapes your path, prepares your heart, makes you ready for what's to come. Then suddenly, you feel something, a different wind, a light breeze caressing your face. It makes no noise, but you feel it in your bones, in your breath, in the shiver that runs down your spine. This wind is unlike any other. It carries a promise, a silent sign that something is about to change. It's a subtle, discreet, yet powerful call. You may not notice it at first, but your soul recognizes it immediately. This breath is Allah calling your heart, gently stirring the place where your patience, hope, and faith reside. And then, like a tiny miracle, yet enough to transform everything, a drop of water falls on your hand. A single drop, barely perceptible, but it's there. And you feel that drop. It awakens you. It reminds you that life can spring from the most unexpected place. That even in this desert, where everything seemed dead, rain can fall. That even in the darkest moments, a breath of mercy can come. That what you thought was lost is actually preparing to blossom in your world. That drop on your hand is like a gentle yet firm warning. Open your eyes, stay alert. Divine guidance doesn't always strike with a bang. It often appears in the small details we've learned to ignore. Every sign you encounter in your life, every seemingly insignificant meeting, every thought that arises in the middle of the night. These are subtle messages, markers your heart must follow to recognize the exact moment everything will shift. Imagine for a moment that you continue walking through this desert, but now your heart is attentive. Your steps become lighter because you sense that it is no longer just a desert. This is a place of transition, a sacred space where every trial you've endured serves something greater. And the wind and the drop of water, are the messengers. This breath you'll soon feel isn't a coincidence. It doesn't come simply to surprise you, but to align you, to remind you that what you've been waiting for, what you've been hoping for, is already underway. And this is where many fail. They don't recognize the breath. They keep walking, thinking nothing will change. But you are different today. You've arrived here. You're watching this video, listening to these words. Your heart, even if it's weary, knows this moment. It knows that life is about to manifest in your reality, that this wind and this drop of water are the harbingers of a sudden opening, a call you can no longer ignore. Look around you at your everyday life. Situations that seemed frozen are beginning to shift. Encounters that seemed impossible are being orchestrated in the secret of destiny. Solutions you thought were beyond reach are preparing to emerge. But all of this will demand one thing of you: the vigilance of your heart. You must be ready to feel, to recognize, to respond. For the breath will not last forever. The drop of water will not remain suspended in time. The moment when Allah decides to strike your life with power and speed is imminent. And your soul must be ready to open itself completely to this call. This desert, which you thought barren, is becoming a sacred place. And you, who are now moving forward with awareness, are beginning to understand. The greatest miracles always come from the place where they are least expected. And it is precisely there that your path is about to intersect with what you have long awaited. I know exactly what you're going through. I know you've waited for answers, prayed in the silence of your room, alone with your thoughts, alone with your hopes. I know that some nights you tossed and turned, your heart heavy, your gaze fixed on the ceiling, wondering why the doors wouldn't open, why life seemed to be leaving you out. Sometimes you prayed fervently, with faith, and sometimes you prayed angrily, with frustration, as if your heart wanted to scream at the unseen. Why me? Why now? Why this silence? I know your tears have flowed silently, away from prying eyes. Maybe you cried in your car after a day that broke you. Maybe in your room when everything seemed to be crumbling around you. These tears are prayers. They are whispers that even your heart doesn't dare speak aloud. They carry the weight of your trials, but they also carry the strength of your patience. Every tear you shed was recorded, even if no one else saw it, even if you thought no one understood. Allah heard them all, and there, in that silence you sometimes find or perceive, lies a promise your heart senses, even if your mind struggles to believe it. A silent, gentle, yet powerful promise that something great is being prepared for you. You don't see it yet, you don't fully feel it yet, but your soul knows. There is an energy flowing around you in the unseen corners of your life, working in secret. It aligns circumstances, prepares the moments, opens doors you thought were closed forever. Everything you have experienced, every trial, every wait, every moment of solitude, has served to make you ready for this moment. Sometimes we become discouraged because we measure human time with impatience. We look at the weeks, the months, the years, and we think that change will never come. But Allah's timing is not linear. It is not subject to our calculations, our logic, or our frustrations. The exact moment your heart receives what you have been waiting for may seem sudden, may seem miraculous, but it is perfectly calculated. Every delay has a purpose. Every silence has a reason. Every waiting is preparation. Perhaps you haven't yet noticed the subtle signs around you. Perhaps you ignored them because you were too tired, too hurt, too distracted by the pain. But these signs are there. These unexpected encounters, these words that arise at the right moment, these opportunities that present themselves almost by chance. All of this is part of the divine plan for you. Nothing is too small for Allah. Everything is aligned so that your calling, the one you have been waiting for so long, arrives perfectly and precisely. And listen to me carefully. What you thought impossible is about to manifest. This change, this opening, this answer to your prayers can come sooner than you imagine. It can happen when you least expect it, in a fraction of a second that will transform your world. And that's when your heart must be ready. Your soul must be ready to recognize this gift, to welcome it fully, without hesitation, without doubt. For many, miss what is meant for them simply because they are not attentive, because they don't feel the breath of guidance when it arrives. Feel this moment in your heart. Feel the thrill that runs through your soul right now, as if something wants to knock on the door of your mind, but you are not yet aware of its importance. This thrill is the promise. It is the signal that your time is approaching. It is the silent energy telling you, prepare yourself, something great is for you. And even if your wounds run deep, even if your past seems burdensome, even if you still doubt, what you've been waiting for is coming. Your effort, your patience, your prayers, your tears. All of this has paved the way for this miracle. Your heart is the vessel, ready to receive this blessing that could only come at the precise moment you were ready to welcome it. So, feel it. Let your heart open to this reality. Let yourself feel that what you thought was lost is not lost at all. Let yourself feel that every sigh, every silence, every tear, every moment of weariness and waiting has been heard and carefully prepared. Prepare yourself to receive what seemed impossible. Prepare yourself for your world to suddenly change. The call is coming, and it might come sooner than you imagine. Do you sometimes wonder why certain doors remain stubbornly closed? No matter how hard you've fought, no matter how much you've prayed, you've given your heart, you've poured your soul into it, you've believed, and yet these doors won't open. You've looked around, watched others move forward, seen their paths unfold as if life were handing them everything on a silver platter, while you feel like you're spinning your wheels, stuck in the same loop. But what if what you interpret as rejection is actually alignment? What if this delay, these obstacles, this feeling of being suspended are in fact an invisible preparation known only to Allah? Every wait, every trial, every obstacle in your life, even those that seem pointless or cruel, has a profound purpose. They shape your soul for the precise moment when what you've always longed for will manifest in your reality. These moments of silence are never empty. They are filled with the messages that your heart can perceive. If only you listen attentively. Feel this. Close your eyes for a moment. Focus on your heart. Can you feel this tension? This energy rising silently, imperceptibly, yet just waiting to burst forth? It is not anxiety. It is not fear. It is the signal. It is the breath of guidance, a divine whisper telling you, prepare yourself. The time is approaching. Have you noticed that often, when we are impatient, we lose sight of what is essential? We want immediate answers, quick solutions. We want to see the fruits of our efforts now, here and now. But Allah in His wisdom never follows our clock. Human time and divine time do not always align. What you consider a delay is often perfect synchronization with what is to come. And there is incredible beauty in this precision, a beauty that only the attentive heart can recognize. Think about it for a moment. Every door you've experienced closing, every person who ignored you or left your life, every opportunity that seemed to slip through your fingers, it all had a purpose. These situations were there to protect you, to teach you, to uplift you. They were invisible signs, milestones on your spiritual path. Subtle warnings that true change would only come at the perfect time. Do you feel frustrated? I know you do. This feeling of stagnation can be heavy, oppressive, almost unbearable. But imagine for a moment that this weight you carry is exactly what your soul needs to become stronger, more conscious, more aligned with its destiny. Every experience, even a painful one, is a lesson. Every tear, every sigh, every night spent questioning, doubting, searching for answers is preparation. A silent purification of your heart to make you receptive to what is coming. And now, ask yourself this. Can you feel that energy around you? That subtle shiver that runs through your mind? That vibration in your heart? It's the sign that change is approaching. It can emerge at any moment, suddenly, like a light piercing through the darkness. And when it arrives, everything you've experienced so far will make sense. Everything you've been waiting for will finally be revealed. So, are you still wondering why you're stuck? Why some seem to be moving forward while you're left behind? The truth is, every life follows its own rhythm, orchestrated by a divine intelligence we can't always comprehend. What you see in others is only part of the picture. What you don't see are the trials they face, the delays they ignore, the invisible preparations shaping their destinies. And your path, too, is being built, silently, perfectly, in an alignment you can only perceive when the time is right. Feel this reality. Your heart knows. Your soul knows. Even if your mind doubts, even if your eyes see nothing moving, something is brewing, something powerful. A call, an answer, an opening. And this is not a metaphor. It is not empty hope. It is a silent truth waiting to be recognized by those who know how to listen. Can you imagine the moment when all this will be revealed? The moment when you will understand that every wait, every delay, every obstacle had meaning. That moment is approaching, but before it manifests, you must remain attentive. You must feel, you must listen, you must be ready. And now, feel this tension even more intensely, for this breath, this energy, this signal could strike at any moment. And when it does, everything will change in an instant. Visualize your life as a night sky. Not an ordinary sky, but a deep, vast, almost infinite one. Darkness seems to envelop everything around you, and your gaze struggles to discern the contours of your path. There's this feeling of floating, this silent vertigo that makes you doubt, as if you were suspended between the past and the future, between what you've lost and what you hope to achieve. The stars are there, but they appear scattered, distant, each isolated in its brilliance, each seeming to remind you how long the road is. And yet, in the midst of this darkness, a light suddenly bursts forth. Not an imposing, blinding light, but a soft, penetrating glow that cuts through the dark veil with a precision that forces your soul to awaken. This light is not a coincidence. It pierces the darkness like a silent call, a signal that something new, something decisive, is about to happen in your life. It invites you to look up, to reach out, to feel that the invisible is beginning to touch the real. This light represents your life taking a turn. Everything you thought was fixed, immobile, is about to transform. Projects that seemed doomed, relationships you thought were lost, hopes you had locked away in a corner of your heart. Everything will be illuminated. But this isn't a light you can simply watch passively. It demands your attention, your openness, your ability to follow the movement it offers. It calls you to move with it, to leave behind what no longer has a place in your reality. Now imagine this light tracing a path across the sky. It winds its way between the stars, between memories and regrets, and each step you take to follow it transforms the desert of your past into fertile ground. The shadows gradually disappear, but not abruptly. They dissipate gently, giving way to the clarity and depth of who you have become. Every hesitation, every moment of doubt, every past pain begins to make sense. It wasn't chaos. It was preparation. It wasn't giving up. It was a silent education for your soul. And you notice something incredible. As you follow this light, the stars around you seem to rearrange themselves. They are no longer scattered. They form a clear, precise path. A path that only your heart can understand. This path is unique, designed for you. It is unlike any other, and no one else could follow it exactly as you do. It is the divine plan beginning to reveal itself, not by chance, but through perfect, invisible, meticulous orchestration. Feel this experience in your heart. Feel how every fiber of your being awakens to possibility. The fear of emptiness, the fear of uncertainty, begins to transform into excitement, into anticipation. This subtle shiver that runs through your body is the signature of divine alignment. What you have long awaited will not come with dazzling signs or shouts from the heavens. It will come in this very moment, in this glimmer, in this inner clarity that calls you to rise, to act, to recognize the moment for what it is. An opportunity prepared from the beginning, reserved for your heart. Now, visualize this luminous path stretching before you. It is not straight, it is winding, sometimes veiled, sometimes radiant, but it moves inexorably forward. Every step you take on this path brings you closer to what you are destined to become. You cannot see it all, and that is precisely the beauty of this moment. You don't need to understand the whole plan. You don't need to know where it leads. You simply need to feel, to recognize, and to follow. Because this path is designed for you, and you alone. And as you move forward, you notice something even more powerful. The light doesn't just illuminate your outer path, but it touches every corner of your soul. The doubts that paralyzed you, the fears you thought were insurmountable, the regrets you carried like chains, all begin to gently dissolve under this light. And you understand, finally, that what you believed to be obstacles were actually stepping stones, silent instruments to prepare your heart to receive the transformation you've been waiting for so long. You are now invited to prepare for the next step, to be attentive to the invisible call that will guide you even further. This light is the first spark, the signal that what seemed frozen is awakening. But this is only the beginning. If your heart can recognize it, if your soul can follow it, then what comes next will surpass anything you could have imagined. And this light, it awaits you. Don't sit passively waiting. Don't just watch the world spin around you, hoping things will change without you lifting a finger. For the guidance, the call you're waiting for will never knock on the door of someone who sleeps in their own hesitation. Your heart must be awake, your mind alert, your soul ready to recognize what is coming. The sudden call you feel approaching is not an insignificant whisper. It is a powerful signal, a divine movement that could transform your life in an instant. And it is waiting for you here, now, if you will only reach out to receive it. Feel the urgency in your soul. Feel the tension coursing through your heart. That quiet but persistent shiver that reminds you that every moment counts, every breath you take, every thought that crosses your mind, every action you choose to take or leave undone. All of it contributes to your alignment or your luck with what Allah has prepared for you. Inaction, passivity, doubt, all of these can distance you from this moment. But if you are attentive, if you awaken your heart, you will see that even in the smallest actions, the simplest choices, the light begins to guide you toward what is meant for you. Prepare your heart. Open it with courage, with sincerity, with a determination that transcends fear and doubt. Preparing your heart doesn't just mean praying, meditating, or reflecting. It means shedding everything that holds you back: past regrets, unhealed wounds, anger, resentment, doubt. Every heavy emotion you carry is an invisible barrier. Every negative thought is like a cloud blocking the sun. To receive the call, your heart must be clear, receptive, and available. You must be able to recognize it instantly, grasp it, and accept it without hesitation. Open your hands, not only physically, but symbolically. Raise your arms to the sky. Open your heart to mercy, to blessings, to the unseen answers you have long awaited. Let go of everything that prevents you from receiving. Let the walls of anxiety and worry crumble. Let your faith fill the space. For what is coming fast. Faster than you can foresee. It is not a vague promise. It is not a distant hope. It is a truth that draws closer with every beat of your heart, with every breath you take, with every moment you choose to remain true to what you know is right. Remain true to what you know is right. Faithfulness is more than a principle. It is constant action, a discipline of the soul. It is continuing to move forward despite obstacles, keeping your heart pure despite disappointments, walking through life following the signs you feel deep within. When you remain faithful, even in silence and waiting, you prepare yourself to receive what has always been reserved for you. Everything you have sown in your heart and mind begins to sprout, and soon you will see the fruits. Imagine the moment the call suddenly strikes. Everything you have waited for, everything you have hoped for, will burst forth with an intensity that will surprise you. You may not have seen it coming. You may not have anticipated the exact moment, but your heart will know immediately that it is for you. What you thought impossible, what you believed was indefinitely delayed, suddenly manifests with a clarity and power that sweep away all doubt and hesitation. And you will understand then that every moment of patience, every silent breath, every tear shed had a specific purpose. To prepare you for this precise moment, but for this to happen, you must be alive in your awareness, vibrant in your faith, alert in your heart. You cannot simply sit and hope. You must feel, you must listen. You must be ready to answer the call immediately. For this is not a slow process, not an event you can control with human time. It is a divine moment, sudden and precise, that transforms lives. So today, here and now, decide that you will be ready. Decide that your heart will be open, that your soul will be receptive, that every action you take brings you closer to what you long for. Do not let fear, doubt, or inaction steal from you what is meant for you. Be aware, be attentive, be faithful, for the sudden call is approaching, and it will bring all that you have longed for more intensely than you could ever imagine. Your time is now. Feel it. Prepare yourself. Rise up. The moment is coming. Now that you feel the energy of this impending change, don't let this moment pass without acting. Stay connected to your heart, observe the signs around you, and be ready to answer this sudden call. If this message has touched your soul, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to continue receiving this life-transforming guidance. Prepare yourself, because what's coming is coming fast.